Hello everybody, this is Gruesome Fox coming at you with a 600 cost rated match in the Jegan Birnam type. We're going to be on Arctic base for this match here, and the Birnam type is a suit I got last week while pulling for the full armor engaged Gundam A plan. And while I did use it a little bit on my Saturday stream for that week, I kind of briefly talked about it there. I really wanted to make a dedicated video on this unit because it's one I've been enjoying quite a lot with the matches I've gone with it so far. So, yeah, with the Birnam type here, really just wanted to come back to it and talk about it. And that's what we have here today. The Jegan Birnam type is a 600 cost general unit, and while you are a Jegan style mobile suit, you do have a very unique loadout thanks to the primary weapon that this suit gets, that being the beam shot Lancer. And I really like the Lancer on this suit. It is capable of doing a instant stun, it can also pierce, and it also negates some of the beam resistance of enemy mobile suits it comes into contact with. So, a really nice lance weapon. It does have one shot before it needs to reload, but it does come back relatively quickly in most scenarios, so not really a bad thing to have. For your main melee weapon, you do have a beam saber. This has the standard sort of Federation style melee pattern from what I have seen of it, though I do think it's interesting how the Bir-HAM Jegan kind of holds its beam saber. Whenever it's boosting, it seems to like hold it in front of it, almost like it's guarding itself. I found it to be very interesting. I don't think the other Jegans hold it that way, so just kind of a small detail I thought was interesting there. But moving to the secondary weapons, your Beam Shot Lancer also has a submachine gun. This has really good stagger accumulation and really good damage, and it also kind of fills in for this suit's lack of Vulcans, since the Vulcan pod has been replaced with the sort of monocle sensor eye that this suit has. You also have the Beam Shot Lancer Collision. This allows you to use the lance as a melee weapon, though the only thing with it is that the lance actually has to be armed on it, so if you fire the lance and it's reloading, you will not be able to use this weapon. But it is, again, a nice melee weapon to have. You can get a nice lunging downswing with it, and, just really cool to have a lance weapon like that on a Jegan-style mobile suit. You also have a waist hand grenade. This seems to be pretty similar to the standard Jegan waist grenade from what I'm aware of. You can kind of just, toss it like any normal grenade. I don't know if you get the extra damage to parts that I believe the Jegan grenade is supposed to have, but again, it is still just a pretty standard grenade, all things considered. And then in the shield, you do get the shield twin missile launcher. This fires 4 missiles, and it is capable of getting a instant stun. And then you do have that missile shield for defense. And kind of just talking about the standout skills here, you do get Emergency Evasion System level 2, so you get a double dodge roll. You have Melee Combo Control level 1, which applies to both the Beam Saber and the Lance. And you get the Marker skill, so teammates are able to mark you with support fire. You get the Jamming skill, so you're able to jam enemy radar. And then you do get Fake Beacon, so you pop up as a teammate on the enemy's side. So really, yeah, an interesting skill set they gave this unit. Again, kind of giving it a fake beacon, jamming kind of playstyle with the weapons that it has. Really just leads to a fun Jegan-style unit to play. Really just a fun 600 cost suit in general. Again, just really have been enjoying this unit from what I have gotten with it. And yeah, you can get some really good results with this unit. The only big thing I'm trying to work on is that I really want to use the lance more. The lance, like Collision, the melee weapon version of it, because usually I'll fire the lance and go in with my beam saber, and the lance is not ready to be used yet, it still has to reload. I am kind of working on that, trying to see if I can find some better opportunities to use the lance melee to really make the most use out of that, because again, the lance is really good for melee, has some really good melee damage, and has a really nice downswing as well, so would absolutely love to make more use of that if I can kind of combo into my weapons better. I guess the way I could maybe try to do that is use the shield more. Again, the shield missiles are capable of getting a instant stun, so maybe that could be something that could be done. Maybe also just go in with the machine gun as well, since machine gun, really good stagger accumulation. You can just kind of go straight into the lance from there. So I don't know, kind of a few ways I could maybe work on that, but that's kind of the only thing I really feel like I'd like to do better with the suit. But again, aside from that, just really nice general overall, and have absolutely just been loving the suit. So that's really most of what I have to say here about the Birnam type. It's just a good general for its costs, especially for something with fake beacon as well. Some of the fake beacon suits we have in game already, like the Slave Wraith and the Ekros Jegan, those suits could really use some work. But with the Bir-HAM type here, I keep saying like Bir-HAM with like an H, I think, which I apologize for. I don't know why, I always thought the name for this suit had an H in it instead of it being an N, so I've probably called it the Bir-HAM Jegan a couple of times in this video again. Apologize for that, but yeah, point is, Bir-HAM Jegan, really good unit. And being a suit from Twilight Axis as well, I think we've gotten most of the suits from that series we could get. The only unit that I think we're missing that I can name off the top of my head is the Zaku III Custom. I would really like to see that suit get added to kind of round out the Twilight Axis sort of roster here. I know, like it's another Zaku 3 variant. We do have quite a lot of those already, but the Zaku 3 from Twilight Axis does have some unique things with it. It kind of has a mix of parts from both the normal Zaku 3 and the Zaku 3 Custom, and it does use the Gyaradoga Commander type beam machine gun as well, so I think it could be a nice unit to add, especially if they add it at 600. Something I've realized is that a lot of the Twilight Axis suits seem to start at 600. I think the only exception right now is the Flailknot being at 650, and with the Zaku 3s that we have, I believe they either come at 550 or 650. There's none that are native to 600, so if they wanted to add the Twilight Axis one, they could make that a native 600 Zaku 3 variant, which would be pretty cool to have. And again, I think, it does have some unique weapons with, like, the Gyaradoga Commander type beam machine gun, so they might be able to do some interesting things with it if it's a suit that we get at some point. Again, I mainly want to see it just so we can finish off what I believe is the full roster of Twilight Axis suits that they can add to the game. Maybe they can do it as like a token pack suit or something. Who knows? But yeah, we're nearing the last few seconds of the match here. Right now, trying to get the there we go. We're gonna go in for the Lance downswing. And couldn't really see how much damage I got off that, but yeah, that's, I think, the only time I really used the Lance this match, which is why I mentioned earlier, I really want to try to use that Lance way more if I can kind of find some better ways to go into my stuns, but that's going to be timeout mission over. Let's see how we did here with the Jegan Birnam type at 600. And I also try to give it, like, black Vanguard colors as well, since, it does have that crossbone style eye. But top individual, top assist, and top in damage. And first place overall with 6 kills and 1 loss. So, yeah, good match there with the Jegan Birnam type, and that's going to be everything for the round there. Well, at least after that bronze crate getting some DP, but yeah, that's going to be everything for the round there. At least for now, 600 has still been pretty fun to play at. 700 with the release of the Barbados Lupus has just not really been fun recently. I do not like the Barbados, I really don't, and I wonder what it's going to be like for 600 once we get the second IBO suit that they're putting at that cost, so I'm hoping that doesn't change 600 all too much, but yeah, 700 right now has just not been a lot of fun. I do not like the current state of 700 with the Barbados Lupus running around, but yeah, that's going to be everything for this video here. Comment down below what you think about the Jegan Birnam type. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and with that, I will see you all in the next one. Later.